Welcome to another episode of Tell the Tape. Tonight we're gonna have my man Sam, hop in. We're gonna discuss Sam's Ballers, the local hoop scene, talk a little bit about where Sam background in basketball started. But yeah, it should definitely be a good one. Excited to talk to him about things that's going on, pushing this local hoop scene further. Yeah, I'm excited for it. As soon as Sam tap in, I'm gonna add him in. As soon as he hop in, I'm gonna add him in. Again, I do want to thank everybody for joining us. Some people join every single week. I appreciate you for that. Yeah, we're just gonna keep doing it. Next month's schedule is set, so we're just gonna keep it moving. Sam, what it do?
What's good, man? What's happening?
My man, nothing cooling, dog. Hey,
That's what's up.
started off. We always like to start a little bit, get a little bit of basketball background knowledge.
Okay.
What did your journey with basketball start?
My journey with basketball is, like I told you the other day, man. It's a little bit different than probably most people.
Okay.
I started playing basketball in elementary school. About when everybody usually starts. Played a little bit of elementary school, played a little bit of middle school. I didn't really start to play basketball a lot until probably about my 8th grade year. That's when I really kind of fell in love with basketball. But like I said, I mean, when I was growing up, man, I had a lot of different, behavior issues and things like that growing up. So,
Gotcha.
for instance, I played in my high school. I played my freshman year, but I met the freshman coach at my school while I was in school suspension. And then, tried out for the team, played, but got in trouble so much that I got kicked off the team my freshman year. And I also got kicked off while I was in school suspension. Yeah. And my school was kind of weird, man. I grew up in Virginia, and they had rules, you couldn't try out for JV and varsity if you were a freshman. It was the weirdest thing, man.
Gotcha.
So let's see here. My 10th grade year, I went to a school in Georgia called Carver High School. They had a big time program, man. It was in Columbus, Georgia. They had dudes going to the NFL from out of that high school, going to NBA out of that high school. It was a big time program. I didn't get there until about January. So when I got there, it was kind of half the season was already gone, but it was cool. Like I said, it was probably out of all the high school programs I played for, that was the best program that I played for. Let's see here. When I got into my 11th grade year, man, I didn't even try out for the basketball team. So the neighborhood where I grew up in, man, we used to play basketball every single day, no matter what
This
you
still
have
down in Georgia?
No, I was only in Georgia for that little period of time.
Okay.
Most of the stuff is in Northern Virginia, out there by the Loudoun County, Ashburn area.
Gotcha.
So the way that we had it set up was, man, every day we would go to the shopping center over there by my house, and it'd be so many people, man. We'd have cars parked all up and down the street, man. I mean, all we did was just play basketball every single day. Half the people I knew didn't even play on the basketball team, didn't try out for the basketball team because where I grew up, it was just different, man. They didn't have a urgency to take kids and try to develop them and make them into good basketball players. They rather say, nah, you guys get in trouble, so we just don't want to deal with y'all. It was kind of one of those scenarios out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, my 11th grade year, I didn't play at all. My 12th grade year, I played the full season. So my 12th grade year was kind of when I kind of started to get it together a little bit.
Yeah.
Getting all right grades. Like I said, stayed on the team the full year that year. So that was cool. But so for my high school career, I mean, I really just kind of count my senior year. And when I played my senior year, I didn't get that much playing time. Like I said, man, my coach wasn't into developing players and stuff like that. He was just kind of into who's getting in trouble, who's not getting in trouble. That's who's going to play. It wasn't really a big deal. So the way that my basketball career really started was after that season ended, I got a letter to go to try out for the All-Star game for some reason for the county. And it wasn't just for the county, excuse me. It was for a couple of counties. It was Fairfax County, Loudoun County, a couple other counties. So I went to the All-Star game and I made the All-Star team. So then that's when I knew that something was up in my school, but I wasn't sure because you don't really care when you're young like that. You just we're going to play. That's it. You don't really think about it. But once I made that All-Star team, that's when I was like, okay, well, I might be all right at this. So I go to a gym out in Leesburg. We used to play up there a lot. And I ran into this guy. He had an AAU program. So he brought me out with his AAU program. And we went to, to Vegas and Philly, all the big tournaments, man. We went to a lot of big tournaments, Florida, all types of places. But at this time, I had already graduated from high school. But, you get a kind of like an extra year to still play AAU.
Yeah.
So during that time period, he put me on some AAU teams, man. I was getting D1 looks, man. But like I said, I had gotten in so much trouble in high school, man. Like, I failed my senior year because of my freshman year because I just kept getting in so much trouble. So my grade point average was just terrible, man. Terrible. SAT scores were decent, but grade point average was like 1.17 or something like that. It was bad. So I go to a couple AAU tournaments with them, man. I started getting some D1 looks. And this is, keep in mind, I wasn't the most skilled player out there, but I was super explosive. I could dunk on people a lot, block shots, real good defensive type of a player. So, I mean, that seemed to work out for me, man. Like I said, I played against a lot of dudes who were way more skillful than me. I never claimed to be a skillful guy, but I do claim to get busy when it's time to get busy. So that's how it kind of was. So what happened for me was I got some D1 looks. My grades weren't good, so I ended up going to a JUCO out in Kansas. And so the JUCO was called Neosho County, and they were a big-time JUCO. Gennaro Pargo, they used to play for the Lakers. He was on my team out there. Yeah, so it was a real strict program, man. Like, you couldn't drink soda. You wasn't allowed to go out. You couldn't hang out with, like, in the girls' dorm. Like, they had all these rules, man. But it was a messed up scenario because this is, like, 99 or 2000. So during this time period, it's like, the world's different, man. So out there, like, my roommate, I seen my coach, like, smack him in the face with a towel, and I seen people on the team almost jump him and stuff. But, back in those days, there was a lot of stuff going on with these JUCOs and these programs where people were coming there to come play. And then all types of wild shit was happening to them out there, People were coming home a lot. It was happening everywhere back then. Might still be happening, but I know back in my day it was definitely happening. So I was at that JUCO, but I was only there for about 2 months. That didn't really work out for me. So I left from that JUCO. So I was home for a little while. I just kept playing basketball, working out, trying to get a look. So that year I was about 19. So what happened was, I went to a couple more AAU tournaments, and what we ended up doing was I had a full ride to go to Maine Central Institute. You remember Maine Central Institute?
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, Dewan Wagner, I think, used to go there. So I had a ride to go to Maine Central Institute. Everything was signed, sealed, delivered for me to go there. During that summer, though, I got stabbed in my heart that summer. So, yeah, man. So that kind of that ended that right there. Just because, it was a scenario. Once I got stabbed, I had to learn how to walk again. I was just in a hospital bed, just laid up for a long time. And so I didn't think I was going to ever even hoop no more after that. I thought that was going to be it.
Right.
So during this time period, Keith Williams?
The trainer?
Baltimore? Yeah. So Keith Williams back then, he had a program going on up in Baltimore called Gwen Lake Prep. So I used to, so he used to be on my line all the time. Even when MCI was coming for me, he used to always be on my line all the time. So once that happened, like I said, the MCI thing kind of ended. I got stabbed in August. By November, I was suited up with a uniform on, about to play Fork Union.
God damn.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. It was crazy. So
what was that rehab like?
What'd you say?
Rehab. What was that like?
So what they kind of did was, when I was in the hospital, they kind of like I said, I didn't even know that I couldn't walk again. You know what I'm saying? It's like you would never think getting stabbed would put you in a position where you can't walk. So I thought everything was going to be all right. And then I tried to walk, and then I just realized I could not walk. Like, everywhere they took me, I had to go in a wheelchair in the hospital. So the rehab was kind of like just working on my legs, strengthening my legs back up. And then at some point, within a couple of weeks, I was able to, gain my balance and then start walking again. So what I did was, during that time period, I picked up a little job working in the mailroom at this company in Virginia. They had a weight room in the company I worked at. So every day I would be in there in the mailroom delivering mail, but I would always stop in the weight room and I'd just be lifting all day because I lost so much weight. Like, my whole body was so slim from that.
Got it.
So I just started just lifting weights. And I just started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I started playing a little bit, but not too much because I didn't know how my breathing was. It was still kind of like, sensitive right here in the middle area. But of course, when you're young like that, your parents, they kind of like, well, we just want you to get the fuck up out of here because you keep getting into so much shit. Like, just go with Keith and y'all figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was my rehab. My rehab was me getting in the weight room and just figuring it out myself.
Got it.
So then I got up to that. Like I said, I got up to Gwen Lake Prep, man, and Keith Williams, man, he brought in some of the best talent, man. Lil Terrence from Baltimore was on our team. I had my man Cliffon Alt, he from Brooklyn. He had a lot of D1 schools. It was just, man, we just were a real talented team. The problem was the school that we went to, it was a prep school, but like we didn't have practice. We used to wear the PG Jaguars basketball uniforms to our games. Like we used to have to drive to the games and everything. It was a whole crazy scenario, man.
Yeah,
So you
that's
go
a
from
lot.
about to go to so you go from about to go to MCI to now I'm in Baltimore at Gwen Lake Prep, a place that nobody's ever heard of. But our schedule, we playing Montrose Christian, we playing Oak Hill, we playing Fork Union, we playing Hargrave. We got everybody on our schedule, not just the beginning. The whole schedule is like that. So we started playing, and we was winning some games. We were looking real good, man. They ended up having some issues at the school, so the school ended up shutting down. I don't want to get into it. If y'all know, but I'm not going to put nobody on blast. But some issues at the school, and so they ended up closing that school down.
Okay.
And so I ended up. So what I did was I stayed in Baltimore a little bit longer, and I liked it in Baltimore, man, because it was cool. Like we was in Baltimore, man. So we didn't have anything to do most of the time we was up there. So we was over there by like Security Mall, little area over there.
Yeah.
So we used to come out, like we'd be bored. So sometimes we just walk to different basketball courts in Baltimore, and we would come down there to come hoop. And a lot of times they would just call people like, yo, come down. There's some niggas just came down here. And the next thing you know, it'd be like 100 people down at the court just coming down there to come watch us all play. And they bring the best players from whatever area right there, and they would all come out, and we would just get busy right there and put on a show. So that used to be real fun, man. We used to do that. We used to do that every couple of weeks. I really like that. You know how Baltimore is about the basketball. I mean, we had so many people that came to our games, man, when we were playing for Gwen Lake Prep. It was crazy, but we didn't even have a home court. So, so that was the prep school that I went to. So, like I said, that ended up ending for whatever reason. And then my next step that I took after that was I ended up going to another JUCO. So what happened was I received a phone call from my coach. And what happened was the JUCO that I went to was up in Pittsburgh called CCBC, Community College Beaver County. They won the national championship the year before. The dude who was their center got into a car accident and he passed away. So they called me like, yo, last minute, like we need a big man to come through. Like we got a full scholarship for you. You gonna come? And it was between there or going back to Kansas to another school called Independence, which was a big time program back then too. So I ended up going to the school in Pittsburgh, man. And this is where we get really into the basketball. So this is when I started to take it like a little bit more serious. So we get to JUCO, we're in Pittsburgh. So we already won the team won the national championship the year before, but all those dudes are gone. So we're all coming in as freshmen this year. But we're coming in and man, we just got the best fucking JUCO team, man. Like we had the #1 leading scorer in the country on our team. We was ranked #1 most of the season. I think we only lost like one game. We beat one team by 100 points. So, we were serious, man. Yeah, we were serious. My coach there, he was like, I don't know, man. Our JUCO situation was good, man. Like, we had the full, the uniforms, but we had the whole sweatsuits. We got different types of sneakers and stuff. Like, they laced us at my JUCO, man. It was awesome. I'm not going to lie to you. It was like we would go play other JUCOs, and they got, the shooting shirt on. We come in there looking like blue chips with the full, you know what I'm saying? The Scullies on, everything, head to toe, brand new everything.
Yeah.
And so we used to really get it in, man. So there was a dude there on my team, man, Lamar Castile. Lamar Castile, like I said, he was. If you go and Google his name, you'll see him on the draft. So this was 2001 to 2002, then 2002 to 2003. If you go look on the draft, you'll see him right next to Melo on the draft list. But yeah, he was good, man. He was a beast. And so when I was at my JUCO, man, we like I said, we were a good mob there. We only had a couple big dudes. We were guard heavy, man, super guard heavy. So that was good because I got to get, a little bit more playing time than I was having back in the day. And so this is how I kind of got my motto for the things that we do in the summertime is because up there. So in the summertime, I stayed up there because obviously, like I said, man, I was just getting in so much trouble. My people was just like, yo, just stay up there for the summer. Don't come back home, nothing. Because if I come back home, I'm going to get into some shit. So just stay up there. So I went ahead, I stayed up there for the summer, got a little part-time job, worked out all summer. So they had the summer leagues out there. And so what would happen is my man, he played in all these big-time summer leagues and stuff. And since I was there that summer, he was like, yo, but you might as well come with me. And, man, the situation that they had up there, man, it was like there was so many summer leagues out there, There's so many junior colleges in Pittsburgh. I mean, you got Pitt down there, you got Duquesne down there. I mean, it is everywhere. Everybody's hooping. Half the DMV is in Pittsburgh during that time period. So it's nothing to meet somebody that's from Maryland, Virginia, or DC in Pittsburgh. That's just what it was back then. And it was during that time period, like when Brendan Knight, or is it Brendan or Brevin? Whoever the younger brother is, was at Pitt. It was around that time period. So like I said, man, during those times, man, like a lot of the dudes who was coaching the team, especially for our team, there was a place right next to Pitt, the projects called the Hill District. They had a big ass summer league called the Kennard League. And so what they used to do is, man, they would come pick me up. I mean, it'd be big body Benzes, Escalades. It might be 3 or 4 different cars out parked in front of my crib to come pick me up. We drive down to Pittsburgh. We go play. It's a whole bunch of pros on the other mob. We got half of the Pittsburgh players playing for us. It was just crazy. The whole hood coming down. And we would just get busy, man. And out there, man, like they look out for you. So they would buy me sneakers. If I needed anything, they would give me money. Like I remember one time I was with one of the dudes, and I mean, they were getting money. All of them was drug dealers out there, but they was all coaching summer league. So I remember even being like, man, I got to go pick up a Western Union for my peoples. And they was like, yo, I don't feel like doing that. Yo, here. And they just give me like $300-400. You know what I'm saying? That's how they were doing it, man. It was so big that, man, we won our summer league championship out there, and the niggas paid for 50 Cent to come and do a concert for us for winning the summer league championship.
Damn.
Yes,
that's
man.
different. They was really
like
doing it different.
15,000. What'd you say?
I said they was really doing it different up there.
Yeah, they was doing it big, man. It was like 15,000 to get them to come up there, man. So they had 50 Cent, they had G Unit up there, and just for winning the summer league though. And I mean, they just took care of me, man. Like it didn't matter what it was. I'll be sometimes, I would be with different chicks and stuff, maybe on Pitt campus, Duquesne campus, whatever, and you just see a whole bunch of hood niggas rolling through, like, yo, Big Whammy. That's what he used to call me, Big Whammy. You good? Like it was a good situation, man. I loved it up there, man. But like I said, that's where we get our motto for the things that we do in the summertime, is because of how they was treating us when we was up there. Like,
yeah,
they was doing it right, man. So I was at that JUCO for 2 years. I ended up fucking up my grades there. So my second year only played a half a season. Came home that summer. Was looking to try to get into a school. But like I said, my grades was fucked up again. But I got recruited. I had some D1s, looking at me, but I just did not have the grades. But I was, so I started going to different tryouts and stuff, trying to get on. But during that summer, man, I fucked my knee up. Me and B-Dub went to go play up in Nottoway, up in Tyson's. And I somebody threw me an alley-oop. I tried to go dunk on this dude. And when I went to go dunk on him, when I landed, my whole knee just twisted, man.
Man, is that why you had the surgery this summer?
No. This is from Trinidad. Somebody randomly kicked me. So now I got surgery on both knees.
Got it.
So now I got a scar on my chest and both knees right now. I look crazy. But yeah, so when that happened way back in like 2003, and I tore like 4 ligaments in my knee, man. It was pretty bad, man. But again, rehab. I'm a strong believer. Like if I can come back from getting stabbed in my heart and then come back and hoop, then I'm going to always be a strong believer. And like no matter what injury I get, I'm always going to have faith that I'm going to be able to come back from that injury, man.
Fact.
So and then that was kind of like the end of my career. So what happened was at that point, my knee got healthier. I started working at Booz Allen Hamilton, which is like a consulting firm. And I kind of had the option. So UDC was calling me all the time to see if I wanted to come join them. And I also got a job offer to work at this one place, Booz Allen Hamilton. I just skipped UDC, man. I mean, I could have went to UDC, and who knows what that would have took me. But I just was like, nah, I'm going to just take the job. Because I wasn't super basketball guy all the time like that, I like to hoop, but like I was into all types of other shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
So that was pretty much the end of it. Second part was when I got a little bit older, man, started playing in the farms and all that with Silent Assassin. You know what happened with him, and now we here.
Got you. So, I mean, you kind of explained it. You said you got your model from up there when you was up at PA.
Mm-hmm.
When did that start? So you playing down here, but when did it start for you? Like, all right, I'm gonna get my own teams in the leagues.
Well, what happened was, so like I said, man, I used to play with Silent in different leagues and stuff. And what happened, I'm gonna tell you the real truth of why we started doing it. What happened was, whenever Silent passed away, me and B-Dub, we would go to games sometime, go see what's up with people. Sometimes I would run into people. I'd be like, yo, man, I mean, I hoop, and I got a couple other dudes that hoop too. Like, I'll bring them through for you. And a lot of times I would bring people through, and they would just like sit us down, and we just be sitting there the whole time. And in my head, we would be like, but a lot of these niggas ain't really that good. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really fucking was hooping. And
Yeah.
like, it's like if you ain't Michael Jordan in the first 2 minutes, then you don't really want nothing to do with what we got going on here. And so that started to get irritating. I would go to different basketball things, and like, you know, when I would be with Silent and shit, we was hooping. It's all love. Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? I started going to places. Niggas was acting like they never seen me before, never heard of me before. Everybody except for Boo Jackson, though. Not Boo. Boo reached out to me, told me to come to his crib and everything. But
Yeah.
a lot of niggas was acting funny,
Boo
man.
show love.
Yeah, definitely. So because that started happening, me and him had the conversation. We was like, yo, hey, listen, because we were doing tournaments and something else in Seat Pleasant, man. We were bringing all these pro niggas out there, but nobody even knew about that. But we started being like, well, we know enough dudes, so how about we just go ahead and start a team? Because I don't like the way a lot of these dudes like swag is with it. Like, y'all not that good, and I walk in the gym, I'm like, yo, what's up? You know what I mean? Hitting me like, you know what I mean? Like, it ain't nothing. Like, yo, y'all niggas not that good though. So that's how we ended up starting our own team and saying we're gonna get in some of these leagues, man. We just didn't appreciate what was happening during that time period. I ain't like it. I still don't like it.
Got you.
So pettiness got me to do it.
Pettiness.
Straight up. Straight up. I'm dead serious.
I got you.
Mhm.
So what was like? Did y'all start off winning, or did you start off bringing in the college players? Like, what was that process? Because when I linked up with you, by that time, like, you was bringing in the college, the pros. Were you always like that, or it started off like just you and your man?
So what it started off was, man, they have a tournament out in Seat Pleasant called the Booker T tournament. And so we would play. So what happened was one of my coworkers used to live over there, Booker T. He asked me to come through and play in the little tournament they had. We played, and I played in the tournament, and there was like some like really sorry niggas out there that they just thought were like gods, like the best dudes ever. And then so it became a situation where I was like, well, I know some dudes that are way better than him. Like, he ain't that good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it became a thing where, you know how I'm gonna speak my mind. So to them, he's God. Yeah. And to me, I'm like, yeah, nah, he's not good at all. I got some dudes that's good. So I brought a couple dudes through, but he kept benching them and putting in the people he wanted to put in. And then it got to a scenario where it was like, man, the whole Seat Pleasant was coming down there, and they was booing us and talking crazy to us, which is, once again, why I'm built for this shit, when these niggas be talking crazy to me, because it's nothing new, man. All right? And so that's what happened. So we said, okay, well, cool. How about we go ahead and put a team in there? So we put our own team in there the next year, and we won that motherfucker. But I brought in all these pro niggas that we used to hoop with. So one day we go down to the park. We can't even get a game in. They stopped the tournament because nobody wanted to play us in the park that day. I mean, we got Silent Assassin at the point. We got B-Dub out there. This is a younger B-Dub, like 28. Yeah. We got Silent Assassin. We got my man Lamar Castile that I said was the leading scorer in the country for our JUCO. Yeah. He's down there. We got Roscoe. Like, we just got the crazy fucking mob out there. So we couldn't even get a game. They stopped the tournament right then. But nobody knew we was doing that down there because we wasn't in the farms or none of that. So after we won that championship, that's when we got into the Pitts League. Okay. And we won the Pitts League in our first year in 2015. Yeah, and I always put my Pitts League, like, I'll hold my Pitts League trophy up high, because that team that we beat to win in 2015, I mean, you talk about DeMar Johnson, you talk about Incredible Hulk, you talk about James White, you talk about Mo Creek, you talk about Fowler and Campbell. All these dudes was on that team, and they won it like every year. And that was our first year in it, and we beat them.
I remember that, John. I think that's the summer we first started. Antonio hit that game.
Yeah. Because you had the clip of when Antonio hit the shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry for going on from there. Y'all joined Watts Farms. What was that like?
Watts and Farms was cool, man. We had a little bit of problem trying to get into Watts at first, because Jeff was not trying to hear. He was like, nah, that shit over. That shit dead. Luckily, because of that Seat Pleasant tournament, I knew this dude Trey, and Trey is cool with Kurt Smith. So he was like, nah, I got y'all. So he hollered at Kurt Smith and got us in that motherfucker. And Watts had already started, so he got us in there. So that's how we got into Watts. And we got into the Farms because Miles knew me from when I used to play with Silas. So he used to call me Daryl Dawkins when I used to play down there. And so he already knew me from that. So getting into the Farms wasn't nothing, man. That was simple.
Yeah. I know at one point you had two mobs. What made y'all want to add the second mob?
The reason we do 2 mobs, because we did 2 mobs down Watts, we did 2 mobs down the Farms, and in the Brunson. The reason sometimes that we try to do that is because sometimes we got all these like high-level pro dudes, and then we have some other dudes that might not be quite high-level pros, but they want to get some bump in. And for us, the whole thing is about like, we want to put on a show. We want everybody to have fun. So we try to provide something in the summertime. So we give a chance for the younger dudes who might be college age, high school, or even just young pros. They can get out there and go play. And then you got the other mob where it's like, you know, a more serious type of a situation where you ain't got to sit on the bench the whole time and be looking at me crazy because you ain't getting into the game. You got the opportunity when we got 2 teams. So that was our reason for doing 2 teams. Yeah, we always just try to, man, like we used to do teams down there, Colors down there on New York Avenue, man. Like we try to provide different opportunities. We had high school teams out there in Falls Church. Like we just try to provide hooping opportunities for the young boys, man. And I know a lot of that shit for real probably gets overlooked, all the other shit that we do for a whole, like, I'm from Virginia. I'm taking a whole bunch of DC, Maryland dudes and saying, yo, here, I'm giving you a situation. You feel me?
Yeah.
Don't know me for a can of paint, but I'm giving y'all a situation. Why? Just off the strip of doing it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It cost me money, and I'm still doing it.
So I remember the college team, y'all had like Kev Dorsey down there. Y'all had Brian. The college team was a mob too, though.
College team was tough, man. College team was super tough, man. I feel like people be sleeping on Kevin Dorsey, but yeah, college team was tough.
Yeah. What was it like? Y'all was the first team from DC go up to the Brunson. I'm right. Yep. That first summer. Describe that situation. It was live. I was up there that summer. That was live.
Yeah. So what happened was I think I saw Fanny post something about it, and I don't even think I knew who he was at the time, but I think I was following him or something. But we just saw them hooping, and we saw a whole bunch of big dudes. Because back then we had so many big dudes.
Yeah. Tall ass.
We saw big dudes. They was blocking shots and all this other shit. And I was told B-Dub, I said, yo, we should get into this. This should look all right. He was like, man, nobody want to get in that shit. I ain't trying to go do that shit. I was like, nah, we should do it. He'll tell you the story. He was against it, man. He was like, nah, I ain't trying to do that. And I was like, yo, I think this is going to be a good look. Let's do it.
Yeah.
We contacted Sean, like, yeah, I think we want to try to bring a mob up there. And Sean, like, all right, cool. Then at the same time, Will Barton and them just happened to contact them and was like, we're going to get into the league too. So then at that point, I already knew it was on and popping in that league, man. So, the experience, like, coming into that first game and we playing against PTF was just, it was nuts, man. So my thing always been like, the Brunts had been there for 2 or 3 years before we even got into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it been there. Me and my man Labido, we put a lot of work into like researching other leagues, seeing what else is going on out here. It's work, man. It is fucking work. All right, that shit takes time. And so when we saw what they had going on in the Bronx, we was like, man, this joint right here got some potential. It ended up being way better than I thought it could ever be during that time period. But just that first day going in there, the whole Baltimore in there, the whole gym just jam packed with people, man. Words can't even describe that first game, man. It was just crazy in there. And the whole entire city hating the out-of-town team.
Yeah.
We out there talking shit and winning. Yes. And we was ranked, I think, number 3. We was ranked number 3 that season. In the preseason, we was like, huh? So they had PTF 1, DMV Warriors 2, and that's number 3. So we played PTF first, beat them, then played DMV Warriors and beat them.
That was a tough game. Another tough game when I don't know what team he played on. I forgot. Alvin, the lefty guard, that was a tough game too. Y'all had
that was
that game.
Yeah, that was a tough game, man. I was a good competitor, man. What was the One Love? That was the name of their team. One Love. Yeah, that was a good game, man. That one right there was a lot of shit talking going on. A lot of, like I said, just a lot of talking going on with that game, man. But I loved it, man. And you know me, man. Any league we in, I'm usually gonna say something. I'm gonna run my mouth. I'm gonna talk my shit because to me it makes it funner, especially when you got like a whole bunch of pros playing for you. At some point, sometimes they get bored with just playing people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it's always good to try to like do a little something to give a little extra motivation.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it makes the game better. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, that Alvin game, that one's classic. That's a classic game right there.
Yeah,
big how all the shit talking happened and all that, man.
Yeah.
So that was a classic game, man. But yeah, you know me, I'm always gonna bring the controversy. It's all in fun though.
Yeah. I think that's sometimes that get lost a little bit in everything that's going on. Like you doing it to this how street ball should be. You supposed to talk shit, get some competitive edge to it. Why do you think that get lost so many times?
Man, I think there's a couple of things, man. I think number one, I think not being from the area, not growing up with the people, I think that matters. Now, keep in mind, DC is 30 or 40 minutes from wherever I live at, and a billion people know me out there. But I'm out here now. Don't nobody know me out here. So it becomes a situation where, like, who is this dude? talking all this shit all the time, running his mouth. And I think sometimes it comes off because I did play basketball. I think that it's just, you know, I get a little fiery when I play. It's just that's how I was when I actually played basketball. So a lot of these dudes, and this is not a shot at anybody, but a lot of the dudes that coach, I don't know if they actually play basketball. So I don't know if they got the same type of like fire for the game that I have for the game. Different area, I think it's easier for a whole bunch of people. So this is what I say. I think because the impression from people is that you got a whole bunch of pro players, y'all think y'all better than people. Like these are things that people have said to me, right?
Yeah.
I think the impression, I think what really happens is, I don't think a lot of them are even really mad at me, right? I think a lot of them are mad at their own situation of what they have going on. And I think a lot of times they're kind of using me as the poster child for the shit that they hate. So they're so pressed to be cool with all these hoop dudes. They want to hang out with basketball players. You know what I'm saying? I see it all the time. That's what they want to do. So they're not going to come at them a certain way because they kind of want to be cool, even though they kind of hate them at the same time. But I'm a good person to come at because I'm just the coach. I'm not hooping or nothing. So I think a lot of times it's easier to come at me. So I think you put the combination of that. I think you put the combination of me not being from the area, and then you have a combination of like, I'm not lying when I'm speaking, man. I'm saying things that I truly believe. That is my opinion of what's going on. And one thing about it, man, I don't be lying on people. I don't come out here and just tell lies. I say whatever it is that I see going on. One thing that I don't like is what'll happen is my DM, my phone, people will call me, they'll DM me. Yeah, I mean, you was right. I mean, you are right, though. Like, I mean, I respect how you be doing it. But nobody ever says this shit in public, right? They only say it behind the scenes. And so, once again, I think a lot of these dudes, they try to like gang up and just become like, I don't know, man. It's just a weird scenario. But, man, I can't, to tell you the truth, Mike, man, I can't even relate to how some of these dudes think, man. I don't get it. We was up in Baltimore talking crazy shit all the fucking time, talking about the league, talking about players. They're not like, they was cool, like, you know what I'm saying? They just know it's shit talk. But for some reason, when I come back to D.C., it's, man, fuck him and all this other stuff and da-da-da-da-da. It's like, yo, all that shit ain't necessary, man. Like, it ain't necessary. And it's not going to stop me from doing what I do.
Yeah.
So,
be the same way.
I mean, but that's just what it is, man. I mean, I wish it could just be a scenario where we could also represent the city just like everybody else, but it's just not what it's going to be, man. It's always going to be this separation of us from them unless it's convenient for them. That's my impression.
I got you. I get you. Well,
Which
I
is fine
remember.
with you.
Yeah. No, I remember one of the first, I guess, when like Sean and Drew, before it became like Save the Summer Tour, it was just people playing one-on-one. And I remember one of the IG Lives, you know, everybody was talking like how the local scene needs to get together and build. Like, what are some of your thoughts? Like, how can, you know, DC, PG, whatever, move as one instead of being separated at times?
Man, it's really hard, man, because first off, I feel like there's just a mindset with some of these dudes where it's just like it's automatically coming with the package. Like it's already programming some of these people just to hate. They feel like you're gonna take something from them, man. I see it a lot. I don't know why it's so hard for people to work together, man. There's so much. I just don't get it, Mike. I think if people just decided to go ahead and work together, we could take this shit that we have in DC, we could take it to a whole nother level. But it's just like everybody wants to be separated. Even when you heard me just speak a minute ago, what did I say? I said they separate us from the pack, right? But that's fine. Even I'm saying it. You know what I mean? Because it almost feels like that's the position you're getting put in. I don't know why people want to separate it. Once again, I think sometimes it has to do with, like I said, sometimes people want to be important, right? Like you want to be the man. A lot of these dudes, they want to walk around and when they with their girl at the harbor or something, they see a hoop nigga, they could be like, oh yeah, he know me because I hoop like how he hoop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that shit plays a part into this. I think a lot of people are super thirsty for the attention, man. I think they are. And I think when they see somebody like getting more attention than them, it kind of make them be like, well, I don't like that. That's my impression, man. But yeah, I think, man, it could be a scenario where people get together and try to work together, man. But like, some people just weren't raised the same. Some people don't have the same mindset. So it just be difficult, man. There's a couple dudes who I wouldn't mind working with, but overall, we just don't see eye to eye. And some of the moves that I see them make, I could never, ever, ever be a part of.
Got you. That's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think your vision is so different? So, like, when I first talked on the scene, like I tell you all the time, you were like the first supporter. Like, even though my man out here, I respect that. Like, you got to pay him for his time. You know what I mean? Like, everybody just wanted free clips. But I feel like you understood like the bigger vision. Like, if I get visuals on my teams and we go into different cities, the bigger we grow. Where did that mindset come from? Like, what made you want to
I
do
think it
these
just
things?
came from, like I said, it began in Pittsburgh with just the recruiting factor of it. But to me, man, everything that we do is just advertising, promoting. It don't matter what the fuck it is. If somebody come on the page and be like, "Yo, fuck you, Sam, we hate you," blah blah blah, it don't matter to me. That's cool. All it is y'all just putting us on. And what happens a lot of times with the trick to this is, a lot of times when that happens, it makes other people be curious as to like, why the fuck do all these niggas hate you? Let me see what y'all got going on over there. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, it's all about promoting, man. To me, man, you got to put up everything. Like, I just put up clips of anything. I got right now, I got 30 clips of shit that happened earlier today that I ain't even post yet, where they're mentioning us going up to Jersey and all this other stuff. And to me, I'm always just going to promote as much stuff as I can, man. Like, anything. It don't matter what it is. To me, that's what's important. You got to have the visuals because, if we playing the game, I don't see why everybody wouldn't have a fucking camera crew. I just don't understand it. And like you said, making sure you're paying the cameraman, like that only makes sense, man. I know you're gonna look out for me, so I'm gonna make sure, you know what I mean, I look out for you. But I feel like the mindset of a lot of these people, man, is they've been doing it a certain way for so long that they're just comfortable doing it that way. And my mindset is to like, let's keep on building. What's another thing we could do? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? So we go get a cameraman. All right, cool. Let's go out of town. All right, cool. Let's see, whatever other games we can set up. Cool. What's the next idea? Maybe we can start a league. Cool. Like, it's always about the next step. I feel like the problem with this DC basketball scene, Mike, is they treating it with friendship and they're not treating it like a business. You feel me? And to me, it's a business. Why would you spend your whole entire summer away from your family, kids, and all that, year in and year out, not to get nothing out of the shit? You feel what I'm saying? You funny as shit. Why would you do it not to get nothing out of it? And that's another person. Terry Holsey is a good example. He always thinking of the next idea too. He be doing movies. He hooping. He doing the one-on-one. They going out of town. Like he one of them other people like that think like that. You can't I'm not gonna just stay in DC and keep playing the same people in the same league all the time, man. I don't even. So
no, I feel you.
But yeah, so like I said, man, we just trying to always foresee whatever's going on. The visuals are very important.
Yeah, I feel like, whether people see eye to eye with you, your whole thing is always elevating it. I'm like, you gotta forget everything else. Somebody may say something you don't agree with, or they move in a different way, but at the end of the day, it's all about moving it further and getting further down the road than where we were, 2-3 years ago.
Exactly.
You don't gotta announce your moves, but like, all right, you don't gotta announce your moves or nothing, but what's next for you? Like, I know you always want to keep it moving. Like, where's your mind at? Like, coming out of all this quarantine and all that, what's your mind?
Well, all right. So I'll tell you our most recent move, and so the reason I said that I'm gonna start doing it is just because, man, I am seeing things. I post something, say, hey, look at this, they got this going on. We might hit up these people, and then I'm just seeing other people they are in contact with it. I see all types of stuff going on, stuff that was never happening before. I know they're getting the information off of the hard work that I'm doing. I could tell because usually if I do find something, I look to see who might be connected to the scenario. You feel me? And when I don't see nobody connected, I'll be like, oh, okay, cool. So this is untapped market right here. So I could post on there, hey, we thinking about doing so-and-so. And for some reason, you'll still see somebody go and be like, all right, yeah, we about to go do what they doing. I don't even understand that type of stuff. So in the immediate future, so this weekend we got a Thursday we going up to Newark. We go play in the trenches 1-on-1. Then on Friday we're supposed to go up to Brooklyn to do some 1-on-1 games too. So that's what we got on the schedule so far this week. Okay. So we leave it out on Thursday for that. The future, man, I don't even know, Mike. Man, I had this conversation with B-Dub. Like, there's a part of me that's like, wants to continue doing it, but there's another part of me that just says this might be my last summer. So I don't.
would leave this summer like without any leagues going on? You would walk away?
Yeah, I would, man, because what I feel like is happening, this is a conversation that, an inside conversation that we have, but we'll talk about it. So I feel like what happens is, like, we're talking about basketball. Sometimes, man, these people, they take it a little bit too far. They go and say these things that, like, just make me super uncomfortable, things that I would never tolerate just in my regular life. And I'm starting to get uncomfortable with the narrative of how, like, it might make me look like people are getting way too comfortable talking crazy to me, man. And that's just something, and for real, I'm just not really with that shit. I do it for the betterment of the team, you know what I'm saying? Because we got something that we're trying to work on. You don't want to put people in danger. Like, you want to always be the mature adult, but I'm getting tired of that shit. And so it's becoming a scenario where, I mean, even if I don't walk away permanently, I might just need to take a year off or something. But I can't. I'm starting to get uncomfortable with the things that are being said to me because of basketball. So when I speak, right, I'm not calling nobody out their name. I'm not disrespecting them. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm saying, well, why this shot count, but this other shot don't count? Why y'all doing this over here? Like, it's nothing crazy a lot of times. It's just, I'm asking what's up. Like, we got to hold each other accountable out here. And it's like the nerve of you to say something. Who you supposed to be? You know? And that's cool if that's how you feel, man. But like I said, man, it's starting to make me uncomfortable. Mike, I'm not with that shit, man. I really am. So I could be spending my time, in my opinion, doing other stuff. I could spend that time with my family, with my daughter, doing whatever, man. I don't have time for a whole bunch of niggas to be that. It's like there's niggas that I would never even fucking speak to in real life, but because I'm in the basketball world, then I'm forced to interact with them, and it'd be the same nigga that'd be like talking crazy about me, but like, I ain't with that shit.
Yeah. You big on relationships. Like, you build a lot of relationships. Like, I remember one time down Watts, you had like Rodney Pryor and John down there. And like, why are the relationships with so many like young and upcoming players important to you?
So for Rodney and John and LJ Pete too.
Yeah,
yeah, that's kind of like B-Dubs. Those his young boys, right?
Okay.
But we're a team and everything. So we look at the whole thing like, man, it's just got to be a machine. It's got to constantly be working. So we got our pros out here, but a lot of these pros, at some point, they're going to be venturing off to do other stuff. But we need to make sure we're not slipping. We already got the next up-and-coming group of dudes that's going to come through. So we try to just always stay on top of that. That's why we do high school teams. That's why we try to do 2 teams, see what the college dudes is looking like. You know what I mean? We go around, man. We go to gyms, man. We go to AAU tournaments sometimes and just look at kids. We go to high school championship games and all that in DC just to look at kids. I mean, to me, it's all important, man. We go out there, we network with people. I'm talking to people from New York, Jersey, Miami, California, Atlanta, like everywhere, man. To me, all this stuff is important. I don't know why we would want to keep any of this stuff local, man. You got to, number one, try to expand your reach.
Yeah.
And then number 2, you got to try to, like I said, by expanding your reach, you also need to hit up the young boys. Because a lot of times, even if the young dude don't play for you, he probably cool with a whole bunch of other dudes that really, really could do it too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just because he ain't playing with you don't mean that he ain't going to send over 2 or 3 other people to come play with you.
That's true.
Yeah, so that's how we look at it, man. So that's important for us, man. So we always will keep that cycle of having college dudes, high school dudes, everything coming through. But we always looking for the top-notch young boys every time.
If there was one league that you really wanted to win before you like stopped doing it, what league would that be?
It would have to be the Brunson. It would have to be because we were so close.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were so close, man. So it would definitely 100% be the Brunson. I mean, we came to the conclusion a long time ago. We won't never really win the farms because the playoffs go for so late. Usually, most of our players are already gone. So the farms, if we could just have a good showing in the regular season and put on a show, we're satisfied with that.
Yeah, you said that before.
Like, I mean, but y'all don't win when y'all be down there. For us, it's like we not doing the same thing y'all doing. We trying to come out, we trying to put on a show, and then at some point everybody gonna leave. Y'all can win it. That's cool with us as long as we know that we beat a couple dudes out there. We won't even talk about some of the teams that we beat up there. There's some teams in there that run shit that we done beat up there, and we never even said nothing about it. Because usually for me, man, like if you look, I usually only post when we lost anyway. I don't never post when we win.
That's true. Yeah. And that's something people overlook too. Even the games, like I would come out, like you would still like, I would be like, hey, you want me to just like make Sam's ballers look good? You be like, nah, tell the whole truth. The other team won, show the whole thing. And I think that's big respect because most people usually be like, oh, nah, just send me highlights then. Just make a highlight tape for so-and-so. They had a good game. But you would just be
Absolutely.
like, tell the whole
And
story.
shout out to you too, because you have definitely, between you and B-Dub, y'all have definitely had conversations and saved me, because there's some shit I told you to record on a couple of occasions. You was like, nah, don't do that shit. A couple of occasions, you was like, yeah, nah, don't do that. Because man, we don't release some of this shit. I'd have had niggas at my door looking for me, man. Looking for me.
Facts.
So shout out to you for that. Oh my goodness.
No question. B-Dub, he shared a lot of knowledge with me too. Like one time after a Kennel League game, we were just rapping for like an hour or two. And that's when I really started to understand, like, y'all really trying to take this further. It can't just be DMV, DC, whatever, Baltimore. It gotta be much bigger than that.
Gotta be, man. That's why we do that, man. We even have dudes from out of town. We was looking at that Atlantic City League. We got New York niggas hitting us like, yo, y'all go to Atlantic City. Let me know. We're going to come play for you. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't mind going out of town and then it's not even a team from DMV. I might just have a mom from that area out there, but we just still doing it the way we doing it. Because to us, it ain't about the player. It's about the brand. So that always matters to us, man. But yeah, we're going to always try to take it to the next level. Always, man. Always.
Hey, that's big respect. Hey, Sam, I appreciate you joining us tonight, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you having me.
All right, I'm going to hit you.
All right, you say.
All right, you too.